Okay, so now what is callback function? So yesterday we have discussed about two predefined callback functions. One is set timeout, second one is the set interval. So here what we have to do, set timeout, we need to pass the function and along with some interval. Like we need to provide so after a couple of seconds, we need to execute the statements. Or if you want to execute only one time, set timeout. If you want to execute multiple times, set interval. But if I want to write any callback function, customized one, so first I'm writing, this is the main function. Okay, you can take, so main function. So I'm writing meaningful. So this is callback function. Okay, so that main function we are doing something 10,3. So that main function we need to call. So main function 10, 30, I'm trying to pass, and that callback equal to something show multiplication we are passing. So this one and this one both are same. So where, so mul equal to something, if you pass this mul or this function name, both are same. Okay, so this is a named function, this is a named function expression. So now you can give this one or this one, but once we provide the expression, we have to give this one. If you did not pass any expression, so we have to give this show mul, right? So 10, 30 and callback equal to showmal. Showmal means this whole function, but it will not execute. When it will execute? Whenever we have to call this function, this is similar to callback equal to, so like this function showmal of x comma y. So console.log x star y. So this is the meaning. So this is similar to, we have learned function expression, right? So when this will call, not this one, we have to use this one, right? So callback, oh, sorry, just I change it, right? So callback of x comma y. So that x comma y we are passing already. So a comma b, right? So that callback is nothing but show my of. So a comma b means 10, 30. Show my of where it is here. So a comma b means 10, 30. So 10, 30 will come here. So 10 into 30, 300 it will display. Okay, so that is the showmal. So if you pass show div something, show div, okay. Show div, now this function will come here. So a 10, b 30, if you want you can change. And show callback equal to show div. So here, so what we are passing, so that a comma b means something like, so here by default they have given p minus q something, p comma q, so p minus q something. Okay, so now that callback is nothing but show diff. So a comma b is nothing but we are getting something 10, 20. So 10 minus 20, it will display minus 10. So that is the way we have to execute the callback functions. If you want to understand practically through breakpoints, we will see, then you can understand a little bit more. Sources, go to the file. So where we have to go, here, here, here. So here, okay, main function, these things. First, it will execute from top to bottom. So these all are functions. It will not execute. So this is one more function will not execute. This is one more function will not execute because we need to call. So here it will start. So my function 10, 30 showmal will start. We will see what will happen internally. See, directly came into 12th line. So now it will invoke this main function. So these values will come. Now check it out. Go to so resume the script execution. Click on this. See, it is going to the main function. So now A value 10, B value 30, and call back. If you observe, see what's happening internally, call back. Show mul of x comma y, right? So that show mul of x comma y will not execute. When it will execute? Once we call this one. Okay, let me provide this one. Now you can understand. Go to there. So main function business logic executed. So a plus b 40. That 40 will display here. Okay, now come to so callback. If you resume the script, so after that, what will happen? This callback function will execute. So this show mul. So now x comma y, how much? A comma b, we got 10 comma 30, right? So same 10 comma 30 will come here. So now 10 comma 30, if you provide, so 10 comma 30, so 300 will display. So if you observe 10 comma 30, 300, the same console.log is done. So 300, why 2 times? What we did, why it is getting 3 times? What happened? Something we have done something. Okay, so now come to the next. After that, it will come to so we have provided the breakpoint, then it's after callback, it will come here. So now, then it will go to the another function. Same story, it would be applicable if you know the breakpoints, we can understand. A value 10, B value 20, callback equal to show diff now, right? So show diff of, so A comma B means 10 comma 20. So now it will come to here. So show diff of 10 comma 20. So 10 minus 20 minus 10 will display. So 10 comma 20 came parameters. So now 10 minus 20 minus 10. Minus 10 is coming. Something this time. That main function is executing, right? Will it go here? Something happened, right? That is okay, but 300 we got twice. This is okay, 30, because we are doing the addition operation. That is the main thing. Okay, fine. Yeah, similar way we have to do it. Okay, let me remove the breakpoints once. We should get the 40, 330 minus 10, right? Yeah, that's correct. Something we did something mistake. Yeah, this is the way we have to do the callback functions. Now we will discuss about hoisting. What is hoisting? Why we have to provide the hoisting? Let me write down some theory, then we will go. I think I have already pinged this code, right? Oh, something. Why you pinged yes, yes, yes? For good evening. Why these guys are ping? Oh, visible screen, visible. Okay, fine. Yeah, I think I have pinged this code yesterday. Okay, fine. So now let me go to the paint hoisting. So this is actually JavaScript internal concept, but we should aware. We don't want to do anything. Hoisting is nothing but default behavior of JavaScript. Hoisting is not new thing. We know we are already using internally. Okay, so hoisting means moving all the declarations. That declarations may be variable declarations or function declarations to the top of the scope before the code execution. So that is nothing but hoisting. Okay, so nothing is there. So just earlier we have to declare a, then we have to initialize the value, right? So now So even if you initialize the value, so later declare the variable also, no issues. Because so even first generally if you want to take it, so Java, .NET, Python, not Python, I think Python also hosting is there, I don't know, I'm not sure. So here, so what will happen, first any programming language, first we have to declare the variable, then we have to initialize. But here in JavaScript, even first initialize the value, then declare the variable also, no issues. Because so JavaScript moving this all variable declarations to the top of the scope internally. So again, same story like this one only, right? So that's why, so even though if you provide declarations later also, it will come automatically top of the scope. That is nothing but hosting. Okay, write down. So hosting is the so default behavior of JavaScript. So hosting means moving all declarations. So that may be variables and or function declarations. Declarations at the at the top of the scope before execution of the program. Okay. So generally, so we know we have already mentioned clearly variables or functions. So generally two types of hosting would be there in JavaScript. So there are two types of hosting in JavaScript. So one is variable, second one is the function. So variable hosting we know already. Just so where a first declare the variable, initialize. This is normal approach. So this is hosting is applied internally. How? So we need to provide the first so initialization, then declare the variable. Similar to the functions also. First, generally, what we have to do, declare the function or functions. We know function, so function name, right? But now, so hosting is nothing but, okay, fine if you want. Okay, so hosting applicable for functions I'm writing. So normally what we have to do, just we need to call the function first. So then we need to so write the function declaration or function definition later. Still it works. So because of function hosting, both are same because internally, so this function declaration will move to the so top of the scope. So same story again. So function declaration already there top, then we can execute. But this concept is not applicable for Java.NET. Python, I'm not sure exactly. Okay, I think JavaScript features, most of the features are available in Python, so that's why. Okay, so this is now we will verify. So this hosting. So variable hosting, nothing would be there. So we should not concentrate. Function hosting is very important. Function. So we have to provide addition, FNO, comma, SNO. So FNO, SNO, so we have to provide return FNO plus SNO. Okay, so here we need to call, so addition of something to comma 3. Okay, so where result of something. This is normal simple function with parameters and return statement. So that's why I'm not concentrating much more on this thing. Okay, so this is simple thing. Some mistake is the spelling mistake, addition. This is better approach, even spelling mistake also no issues. Yeah, 5 is coming. So this is a normal function with parameters and return statement, right? But if you provide first function calling, then function definition, still it works because so that is function hoisting. For example, I'm trying to provide different values. Maybe browser is giving, maybe it will give old values. That's why I have modified the data. Yeah, it's working, right? So this is not at all correct because first we are calling, before calling any function, it should take care about that function, right? But that function definition on top of that, it is not available, but still it is working because JavaScript internal behavior, that is hoisting. So just it will move all the declarations to the top of the scope. Okay, what will happen internally? So they have given inside the JavaScript, so compilation phase and execution phase. So at the time of compilation phase, it will identify only declarations. So inside the program, we have written 1,000 lines of code. It doesn't care about so where we are calling, where we are initialization, all those things. Wherever we have declared the variables and functions, it will capture and it will provide so initially at the time of compilation phase. Then it will check it out where we have initialized, where we have verified the so expressions or something initialized for the functions. So then it will identify. So that is the reason function expressions doesn't support hoisting. If you write any variable for the function, it doesn't work. So if you want, you can check it out. So this is a normal process, right? Function definition, then calling. So if you write, this is actually hoisting, right? Okay, let me write down. You have seen both the scenarios, right? So where add equal to, then how to invoke this one? Based on the add, not addition. So now check it out. It's working. Okay, we will change 40 that. 70 is working. So this is so named function expression, how to invoke and how to get the result. But I am trying to do hoisting, it doesn't work. Okay, now save. So clear, refresh, uncaught type error, add is not a function. So it doesn't identification of this add because, so what is the hoisting? Only function declarations, but not expressions. Variable declarations, but not expressions. So not initialization. For variables, initialization. For functions, expressions. So this is not function declaration. This whole thing, right? Function expressions. So that's why it will come at the time of execution phase, not at the time of compilation phase. So that's why if you write hoisting for the expressions, it doesn't work. Okay, so this is one of the important interview question. So most of the member, they don't want to ask directly question, interview questions. They will give the program. So even how they will give the program, so we will think about only business logic, but we should not think about hoisting concept. So this is the more interview questions, right? So tricky type of interview questions. So for example, if I give complicated, so you need to find out the repeated word in the particular sentence, something you will think about only logic. But actually, so they have given function expression related hoisting concept. But most of the members, they will think about only business logic. But first, we need to check it out syntactic rules. So what is this function? Can we call this function? Or is there any chance would be there to call? Or internally, is there any hoisting type of things are there? So we need to verify each and everything first syntax level. Everything is working fine, then only we need to move to the business logic. Sir, what is expression? If you assign any function to the function to the variable, that is expression. So we have already learned, right? So 5 types of functions. So if you write any function without any name, this is anonymous function. If you assign any variable to the function, this is anonymous function expression. Similarly, named function expression. So just nothing is there, that is not new term. If you provide variable, that is, we will call it as initialization for the variables. For functions, we will call it as expressions. That's it. Do not confuse. So they should give it function initialization. They have given function expression. That's it. Yeah. Fine. So this is the way we have to write it. So, but you are not writing notes. So that's why I'm not giving even notes also. Actually, at the time of writing notes, we will highlight that one. So function hoisting doesn't applicable for function expressions. Okay. We will write down. Okay. At present, I will write it at least. So hoisting is not applicable for function expressions. So that function expressions may be anonymous or named function expressions. So it doesn't applicable. Okay. So now we will move to the objects concepts. Okay. So listen carefully. What are the things we have discussed till now? That is, all things are very, very important. So now, we will more focus on objects. Sir, functions are over? No. We will learn until end up the angle, or is that react or angle or something. So we will learn these functions. So we will use these functions inside the objects. We will use these functions inside the ES6 plus, and we will learn these things. So including React.js. So, but we are not learning Angular. Even any JavaScript related libraries and frameworks, we will use functions. Okay. But if you want to work with those things, so this is mandatory to learn these functions, what we discussed till now. Just a second. Yeah, fine. So now we will discuss about JavaScript object. This concept is very, 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 very important. So similar to functions. We have only important topics. One is functions, second one is objects. So then we will learn arrays and strings. These four concepts are very, very important in entire JavaScript. Initially, fundamentals are very important, okay? But later stage I'm saying, okay? Sir, what else remaining topics are there? So nothing, only BOM is there, but that is not that much important. Browser object model. Okay, fine. So what is objects first of all? So object is nothing but what we have seen till now. So what we have seen till now? Just variables and as well as functions. So combination of variables and functions is nothing but objects. Okay, but we will call it as different names from this time onwards. Okay, so first, so object is nothing but simply data members. What are those data members? So data members are combination of properties. Every year we will call it as variables. So methods, earlier we will call it as functions. That's it. So why we have to use properties? Why we have to use methods? So properties are used to store the data and methods are used to manipulate the data. So most of the members, if they did not know about programming, they will get confused about, sir, methods also storing the data, right? No, it will not store. So exactly see the practically, then you can understand. Where a equal to 10. So this 10 value we are storing into a variable. This is storing. So if you write function add something x, so add something x. So this function doesn't store any value. Just remember this thing. So just we are manipulating. Okay, leave it about this parameter also. This add function, what we are trying to do. So console.log 20 plus a. This means we are using so this variable and we are trying to manipulate with something. Leave it about that something. So 20 plus a, it will give 30. For example, where a equal to, I'm providing one string Chiru. I'm trying to manipulate, so Mr. A. So indirectly it will display Mr. Chiru. So this is storing the data. So function is manipulating with that data. So that is the meaning of this third line. So in real-time application, you can take any variable just for storing the data. If you take any function, we are using those variables or properties and we are trying to manipulate, means modification we are doing. So we have seen through numbers and as well as strings. Now you understand, right? Yeah. So now there are so many objects are available in JavaScript. Okay, so these objects are JavaScript related objects, and one more objects are there. I will tell you, those all are BOM and DOM objects. Okay, let me write down here. So JavaScript related object. So JavaScript objects are there. One of the objects is object. Okay, don't confuse. I will explain a little bit more. Array is one more object. String is one more object. Date is one more. So this number is one more object. Sir, what is number? Number we have discussed about primitive, right? So even object also there. So we will use like this. But not recommended to use so number, string, boolean as objects. we have to use. So generally for primitive purpose. Okay, fine. But this is also an object. We will discuss separately. So double equal to operator and triple equal to operator. So at the time of number, string, and boolean. Okay, don't worry, we will discuss. So math is one object. resxp. So this is one more object. So these all are JavaScript related objects. So some JavaScript is providing BOM and DOM object. So DOM related object is document. BOM related objects are window, history, navigator, screen. These all are not that much important, but first 7 are very important. So this document is DOM related object, document object model, right? So these all are BOM related objects. Window, history, navigation, screen, location also there. Okay. Okay, so these are the JavaScript objects are there. And moreover, so we have to create objects, different approaches would be there. Okay, so we will discuss especially 5 approaches. Okay, so including ES6, we will discuss total 6 approaches to create the objects in JavaScript. Okay, so just write down. Actually, I'm drinking water. Okay, fine. So now, but you told me, right? So not required to write down these all things. So that's why I'm giving, if you write it parallelly while typing, then it's fine. But I'm not giving any specific time for writing notes. But generally, I will give the time for the notes for the students. But so this batch, I think even no one is asking. So that is the reason I'm continuing. Okay, fine. Yeah. So why I have given time for note down these things, right? So while note down, you will get a lot of doubts. So while listening, you will not get the doubts. That is the main reason. So especially my students would be there, right? Specific students like US, UK students would be there. So training I will provide, right? Morning, early morning. So in that time, what will happen? They will write down the notes. They will ask more doubts while writing the notes. That is the reason. Okay, fine. So that's why I'm giving every time. So write down, note down these type of things. Okay, fine. So there are mainly 4 ways to create objects in JavaScript. We have multiple approaches, but mainly. So object literal. So object instance. So we will use very rare. We will write directly object constructor. So object dot create. So object dot assign. If you observe, so these 2 methods are provided by the object. I told you, right? Object is one of the objects. So from that object, we have a create method, assign method, right? So from there, we can create the objects. So that is actually indirectly we are creating duplicate objects. And so finally, we have to create the classes and objects from the ES6. This is similar to normal JavaScript function only, but ES6 level we will use it. But I don't want to discuss here, but just I'm writing, okay, then leave it this one. We will discuss, so again, at the time of, this thing, so at the time of discussion of ES6. Fine. So now we will go for the first approach, object literal. So what is object literal? So we know if you want to create simple object, so first customer, I want to provide simply customer ID, customer name. That is enough. So not only object means only is it mandatory to combine properties and methods? Not like that. So we can give only properties. We can give only methods. We can provide internally array also. We can give internally one more inner object as you wish, right? But combination of properties and methods. If you want, we can provide inner object. Sometimes we can provide the inner array also inside the object. We can do it. But this is a basic syntax of object. I have provided two properties inside the curly braces, right? So how to access this object? So by using two approaches. So one is, okay, we can access object using dot notation, and second one is the bracket notation. How to access the by using dot notation? For example, console.log. I'm trying to, okay, let me do not write any console.log. Customer is the object dot customer ID. So then we will get it. So 101. So this is which notation? Dot notation. And customer dot, so cust name. So what is the output? We will get it? Chiranjeevi. Right? So the same thing is like the object declarations is like dictionary declarations in Python. No, actually, I don't know the Python language. I know Java language. Okay, so that's why sometimes I heard about some Python related few syntaxes, but I don't know fully about Python. Maybe dictionary something, I don't know. Even I think Python also objects are there. So it may be dictionary or not, I don't know exactly, but same object concept is there inside the Python also. Okay, fine. Customer ID, customer name. So the similar way, can you show your demo access in key and value, how it all? Yeah, sure. I will give you a big example. Just I'm explaining how to access. So then customer dot, so we can get it bracket notation like cust ID. Don't worry, whatever the things I will explain, practically I will show you each and everything. So here I will get it 101 and customer of cust name I will provide. So which one? Chiranjeevi. So either, so this is dot notation, this is bracket notation. So and moreover, most of the member they will confuse about. So dot notation it is okay. Bracket notation they will not give quotes. Then it doesn't work. So customer of customer ID, right? So they will not give these quotes. Sorry. Then it doesn't work. Okay, so we have to provide the single quote or double quotes. Then it will work. Okay, so now we will see one example. So I don't want to write simple example. I will write a little bit complex. It would be so in real time how it looks like the similar way we will create. So let me create the little bit customer. So this customer object is having name. So this is which property this one? Just tell me. This is a string. I'm trying to use all the types inside this object. So is, so 37. So this is a number type. So then is married, I'm giving true. So this is a Boolean type. So then I'm writing, so get customer info. This is the method. So how to provide the methods inside the so object. So this is also one of the properties, right? So this is a method property. So how to provide the function? So like this. So if you want to access anything inside this method, so you can access anything, but I will try to provide accessing that class related properties, that customer related properties inside, but we can't access directly. So that name plus, so then is, so this is normally we have to display the variables like this, right? Is married. So we can't get it. So this is very, very important for each and every object. So just blindly you can remember here. I will explain in detail later this keyword, but at present just blindly remember. If you access, but it doesn't fit for all the things. Okay, just listen here. Then I will tell you clear explanation about this keyword. So we have to use different approaches. That this keyword acts as different approaches, different ways. Yeah, so here, if I want to access that customer related name is married properties inside that particular object only, but inside another block. So one block related properties, if you want to access inside another block, we have to use this keyword. So then it would be accessible inside the function. Just remember, don't worry, I will explain detail. Similar way, this dot is, so this here nothing but current object reference variable generally, but at present this means current object customer. We know, right? So object dot property name, object dot property name, object dot property name. Okay, fine, that's it. Do not think about too much. So what are the things we have provided? String, number, boolean, and function. So now let me provide inner object address. So customer is one object. That customer object is having inner object address. Okay, street something Sujata Nagar. Okay, city Vishakhapatnam. I think you already aware of this city, right? So pin code or postal code. So you need to provide something. So 530 something 51. Okay. So like this, maybe that is wrong. So this is the way we have to provide the inner object. So these are the things. Which type? Object type. So one more is there, that is array, but I did not discuss about array, but you should have a basic array, right? Let me provide, I have two SIM number, two mobile numbers. So that is I'm trying to provide. When we call object, wait. This is object name. Instead of writing object name again and again, we use this also in future in object name is okay, fine. So I'll send for object value. Wait, do not, just I told you, right? Do not think about too much about that this keyword. I will explain separately one session. That is very, very important. Okay, if I explain, then you will get confused. Okay, fine. Just think about that this keyword acts as a, so that customer object. Okay, so what he explained, right? Okay, similar way. So every time Chiranjeevi, while writing sentences, he is. So Chiranjeevi is a software engineer. Chiranjeevi has 37 years. Chiranjeevi is something. So instead of that one, he is, right? Similar way, customer. Instead of that one, we are using this. Okay, don't worry. We will explain a little bit more later. Don't worry. Okay. So here, mobiles, I'm trying to provide. So two numbers, 98480 22338. So this is actually Sivamani number in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana states. Okay, fine. So next one, so we have to provide so one more number, that is 120 something. So these are the two numbers. This is what type of things? Array. Okay, so this is so the types we have provided inside the object. So we have covered almost all the types, right? Number, string, boolean, function, object, array. So these are the main data types, right? So more than this, we should not find out inside the object. Now, how to access? Same story. We have to access based on the bracket notation and dot notation. Okay, so I'm trying to print only object. So I want to access these object related properties, methods, arrays through console.log. You will identify, save, print here. So we got the object. If you observe the clearly, so this is customer object. So this customer object we are getting here. So that customer object is having address inner object, age one property, get customer info method property, is married boolean, mobiles array, name Chiranjeevi. But again, every object is having, so parent object is underscore underscore proto underscore underscore object. So this is the parent object. So it will come for every object, right? So here you have to observe, okay, so later stage at the time of inheritance, you will find out what is underscore underscore proto underscore underscore. We will discuss about prototype keyword and as well as underscore underscore proto underscore underscore. So then you can understand. At present, ignore that underscore underscore proto underscore underscore. Okay. Is acts as a pointer as in Java, this keyword. So not pointer, that type of thing. So just that is, this keyword is nothing but so current object reference variable. Okay, so pointer wise C and Java low. So in Java there is no pointers concept, right? So in C it is there. Okay, fine. So leave it about that thing. Yeah. So here, these are the things are available inside the object. Now I want to access. So first, what is the object name? Customer. So if I want to access name, Chiranjeevi is coming. Customer dot is 37 is coming. Customer dot is married. So true is coming. Customer dot child object address, you will get another object. So I want to access inner object properties. So you need to provide one more. So dot notation city, similar to state, not state we did not give. So pin code something we are getting, right? So this is just we have to provide the console.log inside the program. Instead of that one, we are checking inside the console. So this is all dot notation. If you want, we can provide the mobile numbers also, right? Customer dot, so mobiles. So if you want only first mobile, 0th index. Okay, so we will discuss arrays later. So then customer is having what are the properties, all those properties we will get it. But if you observe, we can use even bracket notation. So name Chiranjeevi, right? If I want to access customer dot address, okay, one more city, these all are bracket notation. So even we can use combination also. So one bracket notation, one dot notation, it's working. So these all are accessing. So if I want to so update the value, then how? So customer dot address dot city, I'm trying to update Hyderabad. So now if I try to access that city now onwards, it will display Hyderabad. So customer dot address dot city. Now it is updated to Hyderabad instead of Visakhapatnam, right? So this is nothing but setting the values. Even we can delete the object related properties by using delete, but this is not recommended. So why, I will tell you later. So what are the things I will tell you later? If I explain now, then you will get confused. But don't worry, I don't want to miss even single thing. So you will learn each and everything. Okay, fine. So delete. So for example, customer dot name is there. So deleted that customer name. If you try to access customer.name, so then you will get undefined because recently we have deleted. Okay, so this is the way we have to access, we have to set, means update, we have to delete the values of object related properties. Okay, so let me provide you the same thing to you. So I don't want to write again. So for each and everything what we did, these all things we need to mention console.log here. So that's why entire object I have given. So if you want, you can write here customer.name, customer.is, customer.married. Okay, you can write console.log. This process are get element by id dot log dot values are also objects. No, get element by ID is the method inside the document object. So dot log is the method inside the console object. So here you need to understand document, console, these two are objects. Okay, so inside those objects, so these are the methods are available. But so at the time of, okay, he is asking Mukil, let me clarify his doubt. But we have already discussed those objects, but these are the internal. So what we discussed the objects, we have discussed about document, right? So DOM and BOM objects, one of the object is document, right? Window, history, navigator, location. So again, document I have given. So inside the document, get element by ID is the method, but not this thing object. So this is object. So this is method. But console is the object. But you need to observe, so this console and document, these two are parent is window. So that's why we should not that much concentration on document and console, because so these two are children objects. This is a parent object. So if you know the window object, then you can understand document and console. So inside the console log is the method. Okay, so this is the method. Oh, this is child object. So this is parent object. So blue color one is the parent object. Pink color is the child object. So green colors are the methods inside those objects. Okay, fine. So now we will go to the console. If you want to print all the values, but do not write multiple console.logs. So just write down customer.name, customer.is, customer.is married. So like that, you have to write it comma separated. So go to the clear. So here we are getting, so this is the object. So this is the three values I'm trying to print. If you want to call the method, so now you can understand, sir, why it is not executing the function. You will get the better clarity now. So most of the members, they will get confused here only. Customer dot get customer info. So if you call this method, so will it print these values? Just ping me fast. Meanwhile, I will drink the water. So if I call the method like that, so will it print the inside that method console.log values? Just ping me fast, all the members. Yes, it's correct. So it will not execute inside the function because we did not give the parenthesis. So just now we have seen callback function, right? Callback equal to that function. So then it will not execute. So when it will execute? Whenever we have to provide the parenthesis. So then it will go to the inside the function, it will execute. Now check it out. So third one, so first, second, I have given this one. So this is the thing. So why it is giving undefined after calling this method? Do you know? Do you have any idea? So okay, let me provide. So if you provide, okay, comment these two things. So who will explain or who will inform, who will ping that message? I will verify. So if I call that method, so here the result is coming, but I did not write any undefined something. Why it is giving undefined? Yes, Suraj is correct. So if you did not mention that function, so return type. So instead of this one, if you write return, so then it will not give the so that undefined. So normally every function must return something. If you did not provide that return, so then it will give the along with output undefined. So now it will not give the undefined. So this is one of my interview questions at the time of 7 years of experience in Tech Mahindra. Okay, so at the time of Tech Mahindra interview, so they have asked this question. So they have given practically this thing. So why here is undefined is coming? So because of that undefined, if you did not return anything for that function, then it will give. So now it will not display that undefined along with output. Okay, so in real time also we need to provide always functions with a return statement, but not console.logs. For better understanding, we will use console.logs. Okay, fine. So just remember that point. That is very important. Okay, so now, so we will also discussed about so those bracket notation and dot notation. So now we will discuss about constructor way of object creation. So that will be okay. Fine. Now it is 9. So constructor way of object creation we will discuss tomorrow. So this literal way of object creation very important. So just oh, someone is pinged individually. Yeah, so just try to modify this object and try to access these values, and moreover provide all the types. Okay, fine. So once we completion of so objects, then I will try to even I have created two simple only, that is also not complicated assignments. So two simple assignments, but once we complete the objects also we will club using both that functions along with objects. Okay, so once we understand the even arrays and strings, so entire one application you have to do it, because so in that you need to take the array of values. So if you want to add or something, we need to use array related methods and string related methods. So in that time, I will give you the big assignment. So meanwhile, I will provide you the small assignments. Okay, fine. So generally, I will provide you weekends, Sunday evening, I will try to prepare that big assignments. Okay, so then you can do it that assignments, because so once we cover the Monday to Friday, mostly I will take 1 hour. So weekends I will try to take 2 hours, like that I will plan. So based on that weekends I will try to prepare. So where we use dot and bracket. Yes, so this is very good question. So actually I will explain to this one. So dot notation and bracket notation. So bracket notation, extra one advantage is there. So if you take any variable with spaces, for example, my name is there, where, just a second. So I have given where my name is there. So then we are able to access through bracket, but not dot. Okay, so this is the main difference. So whenever you have to go for the so spaces or special characters, so mostly we prefer bracket notation, but in real time, so we should not use spaces for the variables, because we know the naming conventions. And moreover, dot notation is easy compared to the bracket notation. right? So the persons everywhere, so the programmer will go for the easy approach, right? Sir, can we directly jump to React after JavaScript basics, or we have learn advanced JS or ES6? No, ES6 is mandatory for what is React JS. So, sir, one question, we will learn one code JS in this course, or moderate and then React JS. Yeah, we will learn initially, so normal JavaScript, then we will go for advanced JavaScript through ES6. So then we will learn React JS. So that is the order. So without React JS, even if you learn, without ES6, if you learn React JS, it would be little bit complicated, but not too much, little bit, because in React JS, we are using completely ES6 features only. So spread operator, destructuring, let constant, arrow functions. So these are all things like we have to use inside the ES, or what is that, React JS. Okay, but those are simple if you know the JavaScript. So that's why I'm more focusing on JavaScript. Okay, so even if you know JavaScript very well, React JS is nothing. Just we have to learn the syntaxes. That's it. Okay, so we will try to learn class level and as well as hooks level React.js also we will learn. But most of the applications, they are using hooks level. But I have worked on only class level, but even I will try to explain hooks level also, that is function level. Okay, fine. One basic question, Alkesh. Yeah, you can ask fast. One page application, why is Django still used? Django, those things actually I told you, right? So I'm not sure about Python. I think that Django is Python related framework. So why they have to use Django? That is Python related framework. Why we have to use frameworks? So if you want to reduce the work, then we will go for the frameworks. So why we have to came for the React.js and Angular? So they have given some predefined services, directives, something. So we have to utilize those things. We can reduce the code. So why we have to go for the design patterns? So just we have to create one common problem. So we have to use the same problem, we have to create the common solution. So the same solution we have to reuse again and again. So that is design pattern. The same solutions provided by the libraries and frameworks we are using. That is the advantage of some frameworks. Dot and bracket index. Yeah, sure, Shubham. I will explain dot and bracket notation tomorrow. So next the one is the difference between bracket and dot notation only. Okay, fine guys. We will meet again tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Yep, Paras Kamble, I will explain tomorrow. So which event is triggered when we open or load a web page? So that is your wish. Based on your thing, you have to open the web page. So normally we should not load anything, right? So it will open from top to bottom, code will execute. If you try to
No,
provide
sir. This question was asked to us by a CEO of one company. He
okay,
asked that which event is triggered, or like which what is the first event when we load a web page.
web page, okay. So that is you are saying only HTML.
No, he asked about JavaScript.
No,
What
no.
is there are certain events in JavaScript when we load a web page, or when we do something, certain task on web page, right?
I understand. Just let me ask you one question. So generally web page means HTML code would be there. So then JavaScript code we are writing, CSS code we are writing. Combination of all these things are web page. So if
Yes.
you write the JavaScript code, so without writing any events, if you write only console.log alerts document.writes, so nothing event is not required. If you write any functions inside that, it will not execute. If you call those functions, so then only it will execute the functions. So whenever we have to do, like normally what will happen if you write any on inside the what is that body, so we have to write the onload if you want to do something else. Then we have to provide the inside the body on load. So again, event listener, you have to provide the event name, right? So that's what. So generally, it will not trigger any event by default. We have to specific event we have to mention, then we have to call the function. So based on that, for example, onload would be there. So if you click on button, so on click would be there. So mouse would be there. So mouse triggers, right? So key events would be there, key up, key down, like that. Different events would be there. So based upon the event name, or otherwise by default, what we have to do. So even though if you write the event listeners, so there also we have to specific that event, right? So again, same story, but we can provide the click or something. So, but normally it will not trigger any event. So if you want forcefully, then call the function or something. So then we have to use event names or otherwise not required.
Okay, okay,
Okay,
sir.
fine. So we will discuss remaining things tomorrow. So until then, bye. So tomorrow I think we may
Yeah,
have 2 hours class. Okay, thank you.
sure, sir. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, good night.